Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, hitmans, and people with split personality, and welcome to Gustav Making Stuff. And due to some little, well, let's say, creativity, I was not supposed to do this because I did not have the materials, and I made a little video about that. But the thing is that I recently thought this. That could be a challenge. Make it out of the things that you absolutely do not have or cannot think about. So I got creative. So now I'm gonna show you how to make this 2016 Doomguy Praetor suit thing helmet. So let's get going. Things you need. An old construction helmet, the one I used in the Fallout build, and some yoga mat foams, craft foam, thin things. This cover that you use for putting in front of the refrigerator in your home. A box with this thing going on here. Then styrofoam things. Transparent sheet packing plastic, and a ski helmet, and tools.
Hello everybody and welcome. This is like the third time because I'm running out of batteries. Anyway, we are going to make the little basic lines here, so you see the ear and the where the mouth is and stuff like that, to make it as center as possible so you have something to start with. And I'm gonna take this old plastic helmets to cut up for some of this, but I'm just gonna use the green one, but you will soon see where they're from. By the way, I'm just not going to make a super detailed version of this helmet, because they basically tell the graphic designer to start making details and forgot to tell him to stop doing it. So you see, there's the ear part, which we are going to glue here to make the little line here, because they weren't matching up very well. This is very cheap and auto-service helmets here. You can find them in a normal hardware store. You see, I'm taking the front there and put it on the back, where the little eye sun cover is for your eyes. And you see, I'm cutting it there, and I'm going to glue it there. This is just to make some basic lines for these things, because it's very hard to make these kinds of things. This is a kind of a hard build to do. You see, I'm gonna cut there the line for where the eye back shield thing is, and I cocked that up, and I have to redo it with changing the line, because you can look yourself to death on all the details and angles and stuff like that. But now I think we have something that basically looks like it. Now I'm gonna take this block of extra dense styrofoam there, and we are going to adapt them there. And don't forget to mirror everything, so it will look exactly the same at the other side. At least it hopes to do that. You see, like that. And now we're going to just glue them on there. You can also attach them a little bit better by gluing them from the back side, and also take some bolts and driving them to the side. And now we have this big thing that we are going to sculpt into a little bit of more rounder things, like that. But here's the problem, that my camera ran out of memory, and I did not see it, so you basically lost all the progress of me shaping that thing a little bit more rounder. So I had to redo something. Anyway, you see, the lines are going to be made here, so they try to match this as it looks in the game. You see, like that. I have looked at a lot of pictures of the helmet, and I don't understand really how it's supposed to be, because I don't have the technology to download the files and print them out and stuff like that. But if someone can help with that in the future, I would be very happy. Anyway, you see, now I'm redoing that part. We have doing the little nose thing. We just have cut it and bent it and shaped and like that. And you also see a lot of lines here, because that's some details that I was supposed to make, but then I thought fuck it, because no one will notice, because there's so many details on this thing. It's be so many. But it will look good anyway, so if you want to do a better job, please do, because I'm not going to spend 6 months on this. Now we're going to take this plastic part that is in front of my fridge. This is a spare part for it, because it looks like that on the inside. And cut the angles for it to make the little side vent to it. the little parts of the helmet that actually looks like the old school Doomguy thing going on. I do like that they actually try to make a modern version of that helmet. And I think they do a very good job on it. You see it like that. I'm also going to take some screws to put in because this starts to fall off. And now we are going to make some little side lines here and cut in like triangles to try to make the hole as good as possible for this side vent things going on. And, well, I stopped the camera afterwards because you see what I'm doing and this is just going to take a long time. Anyway, so now we're going to make a little template here for the side panel thing with a green foam from the yoga mattresses, which is very good because you can basically make a whole helmet and have this the final color for it, because I like that very green thing going on. You see, here it is, lovely green color, isn't it? So we're just gonna cut out the template I did there with and make it a little bit bigger. And now we're gonna try to glue them. You see the screws also there on the side that I put in. So they will just lap over and look a little natural, so we have to do a little specialized thing with that. I've cut it and bend it over, and I cut it again around it, and then cut the inside in an angle, which you see me do behind there. Sorry for not being in camera, but you see what I mean there. There we go, nice angle. And now we're going to make the little thing in the middle there by taking 2 layers of craft foam for that. And now I'm just going to do 50% of this, because I'm going to then mirror this thing by actually folding it together. And now we're going to cut that and put it inside there. And to make it leveled with the helmet, I'm going to put another piece on top of it later, and just gonna squeeze it in so it will hold in place there. You can also glue this, but I don't think it's necessary. I think it's holding itself in. And there we have this very good little, cool little detail thing going on. Now we're gonna take the candy box. You might wondering what the hell are we gonna do with the candy box, but we're also gonna make the vents for the top of the head. So I'm just going to cut that part off, and then I'm going to take these drill screws and put them, and don't forget they're going to be not long enough so they drilled into your head, because that kind of operations we don't do any days now. We did it in the 40s by having the dark ages of psychology by trying to lobotomize people, which basically was that procedure, or other horrible things, but we're not going to go into that. We're going to cut this plastic thing instead. And you see, it looks very nice. And now we're going to put this little foam here, just to make a little bit of space plate. So it will look like that. And then we're going to basically do the same procedure as we did with the air vent things going on, but with a thinner craft foam sheet. You see, like that. And cut it so it will look nice. You see, there we go, very nice lines. Ta-da! And now we're going to actually do some finishing work here by extending the mouth breather things back to the ear, and gonna cover them up also, so they will be in line with that, so it will look very nice. And now you're wondering, the underside is gonna look, underneath it looks terrible, but I'm going to fix that later, because I'm just gonna try to see how this goes with the shoulder things, if I have to remove more stuff or actually have to add things. But now we are going to take this little plastic sheet here from our packaging, and I'm going to cut it. And this is actually kind of a difficult thing to do, so you will watch me doing this for a bit while I am going to, you see, I'm going to squeeze in things like that, going to talk about this build in general. First of all, there is still a person wondering if you could buy this from me, and I would say absolutely, but that person have not returned my emails. But I'm going to make this out of the things I think. And it's going to be a challenge and a little bit of weird things to build out of, but you will see. I am going to scavenge my storage and see what I can find, because now this is a challenge. I have to finish this. I have to build this thing. I don't know. So your requests will be, I think they will wait for a little bit, due to I also need to do other stuff, but this will be, my initial plan back then will be to have this finished for Halloween. So hopefully that will be finished for Halloween. So if I'm going to a Halloween party, I will probably wear this thing, because Doom is cool. also I'm going to Weekend of Hell, so I'm probably going to bring it with me there. So if you are in Germany and want to see me, go to Weekend of Hell. I have a table there with some other Swedish directors, and you can buy our movies and stuff like that. And other things I can self-advertise myself shamelessly in my own videos for. However, so I hope this build has been very useful for you who wants to build this very complicated costume. I wish you good luck, because this has been quite complicated to make. But you see, I can actually put this on my head and it will fit. So, I hope you find this very useful, and if you want to make the costume, please show me your result later. That would be very interesting if you get inspired by this. So, thank you and see you. Goodbye.